Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is a channel we want to think, we want to grow, and we will contribute. And today we're going to talk about this question. When everything in your life is seemingly going wrong, what keeps you going? And the material in today's video comes from this book by Mr. Victor Frankl, and it's called Man's Search for Meaning. I highly recommend it. It is a great book if you haven't read it. As most people, I've learned that we cannot control our circumstances, but what we can control is how we respond to the circumstances. I know it's not easy, but it is definitely possible. And today I'm going to share a few examples that was observed in the concentration camps. Victor Frankl, the author of the book, was also a scientist. He was a psychiatrist. In the concentration camps, he observed people. And with his professional background, he was essentially making mental notes of not only the life in the concentration camps, but how people were able to cope or not cope with the horrendous challenges and the horrendous circumstances that they were in. But even in such horrible conditions, Frankl concluded that man can control his, what he calls spiritual freedom, as well as independence of mind. In other words, we can control what we think. We can control our minds and our attitudes. So the thought of thinking that you actually are in control of your mind and attitude, does that make you feel empowered? Or does that make you feel defeated? I would say that it should be a source of encouragement that we are the creators of our mental attitude and our mental reality. Here are 2 tips to help you not only cope with those challenges, but to really be able to grow through those challenges. And the first thing is just to be aware of truth. So awareness of truth. So in the concentration camp, Frankl noticed and he observed that he saw that the prisoners were able to choose who they wanted to become, both mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. Frankl said that a man can retain his dignity even in the concentration camp. So the first step is simply to be aware that we can control our inner whole, as Frankl calls it, or just our attitude. Like we are able to control that. Just to be aware that you can choose what you think. You can choose your mental attitude despite what's going on around you. And what I find so fascinating and inspiring and encouraging is that if prisoners in a concentration camps can choose to have a positive attitude, surely then anybody can do that. And the second practical is to have a future goal. In the concentration camps, Frankl concluded that a man can only live by having a future goal. In other words, by looking into the future. On the flip side, Frankl noticed that the prisoner who lost faith and who lost hope in the future was doomed. And he describes one example about a man who had a dream. And in that dream, there was a revelation given to him, some sort of prophecy, and someone told him, there was a voice in the dream that on this specific date, the war is going to be over and the prisoners are going to be released. And he believed that wholeheartedly. He was really excited about it. He had a hope, he had a future, he had a vision about a promising future. Then a couple of days before the date that the voice told him that the war would essentially be over and the prisoners will be freed, they received news to the camp that that was far from the case. And rather the opposite, the war would continue. So a couple of days before the date that was told him, he became very sick. He got a fever, ran a really high temperature. And then the day after, he died. And what Frankl noticed was that there is a clear connection between this inner whole, this state of mind, this mental state that a man has and the physical condition of his body. It is extremely important to have a future goal, to have a vision that you are looking forward to. And this will help you to have a positive, strong, faithful state of mind, even in challenging circumstances. He also quotes Nietzsche, who said that he who has a why to live for can endure anyhow. So let me ask you this. What is your why to live for? What is your purpose? What is your goal? What is your vision? What is your dream? If you don't have a why, don't beat yourself up, but take courage and take comfort in the fact that now you are aware of this truth, that having a why gives you a reason. It gives you a reason to wake up. It gives you a reason to keep going. It gives you a reason to keep working. It gives you a reason to keep persevering. And if prisoners in a concentration camp could do that with all those horrific, horrendous, inhumane, and evil circumstances that they were in, I believe that we all can do it. We all can think about it. It can help us to grow, and it can help us to contribute to our society. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, and I hope to see you next time.